What is up, you guys? Trey here, and I haven't uploaded on this channel in a while. But today, as you can see, I have a couple bags here. Today is going to be my first ever on this channel action figure draft. So, the way this is going to work, I've already basically done the draft. I'm just going to be showing you who is on what brand. Basically, what I did is on the phone that I'm recording on right now, I have a spin wheel app, and I wrote down the names of all the men on one wheel and the women on one wheel, and I spun it, and the first whoever it landed on first went to Raw, second SmackDown, third Raw, so on and so forth. And I did that with the women, and I did that with the men, and we have our two rosters in these bags. Over here is Raw. Over here is SmackDown. In my opinion, right now, I honestly haven't looked really at who was on what brand. There are some interesting, there are a few interesting aspects to this, but without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into it with the first pick for Raw. And these are in no specific order. It's not like first round. I'm just picking out a random person, but the first person drafted to Raw is CM Punk. And this is an older CM Punk, by the way. Clearly. Yes, the first person drafted to Raw, CM Punk. Perfect. Okay. And then we're going to go over and we're going to do a SmackDown. First person drafted to SmackDown is the Animal Batista. And this is an older Batista, too. But I like it. I have all of Evolution now, besides Ric Flair. I should say. But I have Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista. Alrighty. Back to Raw. The next pick for Raw is Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes going to Raw. Next pick for SmackDown is... Ooh, it's a female. It's Naomi. Will Jimmy be coming with her? We'll have to find out. The next pick going to Raw, or SmackDown, I should say. The next pick going to Raw is Jey Uso. That's I know what happens, but I don't want to spoil anything. But I'd love to see Jimmy drafted to Raw too. Next pick for SmackDown is... Ooh, great pick from SmackDown. It's Goldberg. Goldberg going to SmackDown. The next pick for Raw is Bayley. That's a great pick. Bayley going to Raw. Now, there's only 4 women on each roster because I don't have many women action figures because I didn't start collecting them until here recently. Like, years ago, I just wanted the guy wrestlers. I was never really into collecting the women, but now I am, obviously. So... yes. Next pick going to SmackDown is the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, Bret the Hitman Hart. Next pick going to SmackDown is... Ooh... Elias. That's a good pick. Him and Jeff Hardy just ended their feud here recently. Next pick going to SmackDown is... Ooh, Ricochet. Ricochet going to SmackDown. Next pick going to Raw. Oh, I know who this is, and I haven't even taken him out of the bag yet. This is a huge pick for Raw, but it's Braun, the monster among men, Braun Strowman, going to Raw. Next pick for SmackDown is... Ooh, a legend, Trish Stratus. Very nice. Stratus going to SmackDown. The next pick for Raw is... Ooh, Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect, John Cena. John Cena headed to Raw. Next pick for SmackDown is... Ooh, that's a good pick. Paige. Paige was the general manager of SmackDown for a while. So if she ever does come back, I'm pretty sure that's the brand she would be on, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, next pick for Raw is the goddess, Alexa Bliss, without any hands, because I need to get a new Alexa Bliss. But this is what I have to work with right now, so I'm working with it. Alexa Bliss going to Raw. Next pick for SmackDown, very, very great pick. It is Big E. Big E going to SmackDown. Next pick for Raw is Ruby Riott. I don't have a Liv Morgan or a Sarah Logan, so Ruby's just by herself. But she is headed to Raw. Next pick for SmackDown is a leg. More specifically, a Brock Lesnar leg. Brock Lesnar going to SmackDown. And I need a new Brock. Like, terribly. I'm just making this one work. I would super glue him, but then his legs wouldn't be able to move. But then again, he doesn't really move much anyway. He just sits at home on his ass most of the time. But yes, going to SmackDown is the Beast Brock Lesnar. I gotta set him like up here. Next pick, I just said Raw again, didn't I? SmackDown. Next pick for Raw is... Okay, so I was doing a match the other night, and for whatever reason, I had him win it. But the next pick for Raw is actually the WWE Champion, James Ellsworth. I had him win the other night. I don't understand why, but he beat, who did he beat? I can't remember who he beat. Who did he beat? Oh, somehow he beat Roman Reigns. Don't know how, but he did. Anyway, next pick for SmackDown. Since I just mentioned his name, the big dog, Roman Reigns. And this is actually an old Shield Roman figure that I had that I just cut his vest off just to kind of make his current look. The next pick for Raw is the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura to Raw. The next pick for SmackDown is... Oh no. I did not want this to happen. But the next pick for SmackDown is Jimmy Uso, which means Jimmy and Jay are broken up. Jay being on Raw, Jimmy being on SmackDown. Therefore, they are going to be both single stars. And I was going to draft them as a team, but I thought it'd be more interesting to draft everybody as a singles competitor. So, yeah. Jimmy Uso going to SmackDown. Next pick for Raw is the sassy Southern Belle, Lacey Evans. I gotta speed this up because I'm already 11 minutes in. The next pick for SmackDown is Carmella. Next pick for Raw is the modern day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal going to Raw. The next pick for SmackDown is Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn going to SmackDown. The next pick for Raw. Actually, this is a great pick for Raw. It'll bring a lot of comedy to Raw. Can you guess who it is? It is the 24/7 champion. No. I believe it's like 42. The 42-time I-75, 24/7, 48, whatever, 24/7 champion R-Truth. I-95 South. Next pick for SmackDown is Velveteen Dream going to SmackDown. Next pick for Raw is a very big pick, actually. No pun intended. A very big pick with big casts. Big cast going to Raw. I do not have an Enzo. Next pick for SmackDown is Cesaro. And this is Real American Cesaro. But Cesaro going to SmackDown. The next pick for Raw is another big pick, no pun intended. And I colored on him a while ago, which is why his face is red, but it's The Big Show. Again, I was trying to make it seem like blood, and my stupid ass decided to do it with a Sharpie. But Big Show going to Raw, and I think I mentioned that before. The next pick for SmackDown, the A-lister, The Miz. I do not have a John Morrison. I used to, but his legs broke. The next pick for Raw is the All-American, American, Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger going to Raw. The next pick for SmackDown is Luke Harper. One-third of the Wyatt family. Well, if you count Strowman, 1/4, but I just count him, Rowan, and Bray for the most part. Next pick for Raw is the phenomenal AJ Styles. The next pick for SmackDown is a huge pick. Probably one of the most dominant figures in WWE today. The Freak, Lars Sullivan, is going to SmackDown. The next pick for Raw is Ooh, okay. So, I actually have to go in and find somebody. Here he is. Not allowed to see him, not allowed to see him. There we go. Okay. So, going to Raw is the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt, which means, by association, also going to Raw is the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. The Fiend is coming to Raw. I figured, and the only reason why I have the Eater of Worlds Bray in here, like on the roster, because I have some on my floor down there that are just extras. But I could do storylines where he starts out fighting as him, and the lights go out, and then he turns in to him. So yeah, Bray Wyatt going to Raw. Next up for SmackDown is the top 1%er, EC3. Next up for Raw.